Hello everybody, I am Deirdre Elizabeth and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be discussing with you how to win at every single thing you do, okay? And I'm going to talk about it in the concept of a day and achieving every single one of your goals and your tasks and winning at the priorities that you have set for the day or that are necessary for that day and what needs to be done, and how you can do it and do it the best and absolutely kill it, and how you can do this with everything in your life, either small scale like a day at a time or big scale like a month at a time or a year at a time for larger projects or larger goals, okay? And if you wonder why I'm qualified to be able to speak on this and to be able to give you really actual good advice that I'm not talking out of my you-know-what, I can tell you that it's because I raised 2 kids completely on my own, and that in itself is a task to be rewarded, because managing 2 kids on your own, managing 2 kids period, managing 1 child is a organizational challenge, and to be able to do that with focus and attention and to do it successfully is hard. But I did that also while working full-time, and throughout my entire life, I have been pursuing secondary, post-secondary, and graduate level education throughout my entire life. And if you don't believe me, look on the wall above me. There it is. Those are my degrees. That's my house, friends. That's my house that I probably won't own. That's my biggest asset, and it all fits on one wall. But I love it because it's all up here. And I have studied my postgraduate and my graduate education is in psychology and healthcare and in physics. And you know what? If you've studied psychology or you've studied physics, you're going to listen to the things I have to tell you today, and you're going to align right with it, and you're going to understand, and you're going to be like, oh yes, this makes sense, because it's everything that you've learned, okay? So I'm going to start with some notes. I do have notes. I'm not going to stick to them completely. They're just, I don't have a script, but they're to keep me on track, because I do have a lot to say on this topic, and I tend to get scattered and misguided and get off track. So this is to help you. It's for your benefit. So the first thing I want to talk about is probably the most important, and it is context switching. If you want to maintain your attention, and attention, guys, is our biggest ally. It's our biggest asset, okay? Attention leads to being able to allocate your best amount and your best level of focus, and deep focus leads to your greatest productivity, okay? So attention. And the biggest violator of attention is context switching. And what that is anything that takes your attention away from what you're doing. What you're doing is any one task, and you need to take a bathroom break, or you need to go and make a coffee, or you take 3 seconds, turn your eyes away from your work, and read a text message. Your brain changes function, it changes context, and guess what it takes for you to get back to that level of focus that you were previously at before you checked that text message? It takes 23 whole minutes. So think of how many times a day when you are focusing on a task and something takes your attention, either someone stops by your office to say, hey, how was the weekend? Or you answer a phone call, or check your email, or you listen to a voicemail. You lose 23 minutes each time. So multiply all the times in a day that happens by 23, and that's how many moments in your day that you lost to nothing productive. You gave away, and you just pissed them away to being not productive and to not working towards your goals and not working for your benefit, not working for you. So you gave those minutes away to work for something else and not for you. So let's minimize context switching, because it takes 23 minutes for your brain to refocus and get back onto that level of focus and attention that you were at previously. And the best way to minimize that is to do what is content batching or context batching. So context batching would be dividing your calendar, your schedule, your agenda for the day into the tasks you need to complete, and separate those tasks into 90-minute chunks, okay? 90-minute chunks allows for some context switching, but it still gives you enough time to achieve a state of deep focus and deep attention, enough to really be productive. And how that extreme level of production comes along is by our second greatest asset, which is momentum. Okay, momentum is godly. It's next to godliness. It is something that is going to perpetuate you either to success or hold you back with lack of momentum and drag you back to failure. Okay, and the best analogy I can give you towards this is a physics analogy, and it's that in any object, it isn't going to start moving independently on its own. It is not going to start any movement without a force applied to it, and that movement isn't going to stop either, and that momentum isn't going to stop without a force, a counter force being applied to it. Okay, so you need to apply a force to initiate momentum, to initiate movement, which will initiate your momentum. Okay, so you need to determine what that best force is for you. And you've heard of this before, and you've heard of it probably in the context when you were in school, where they discussed if you can't write an essay, you can't figure out what to write. I've found this when I'm writing. I write books. I'm a published author, and when writing a book and I'm stuck on how I want to begin a chapter, just start brain dumping. You just start writing. You just get the ball rolling. You apply that force. You get the ball rolling. All of a sudden, momentum kicks in. Then attention kicks in. Focus starts creeping in there, and all of a sudden you're productive. Your thoughts become organized, they become logical, they become something that you can coordinate and get down on paper in an effective and an efficient manner. Okay, and all you did was just start moving your brain, get the brain moving. You applied a force to get the brain moving, and it created that momentum for you, and momentum led to all of those successful steps to help you achieve your goal and your desired outcome. Okay, so keep that in mind. Productivity is dependent on momentum, and the best thing you can do every day is to identify a primary and anchor goal for the day, your most priority, your highest priority goal, and your highest priority achievement that or task that you need to achieve for that day, and to identify also number two, those two things. That first one, your highest priority, and the second one being, what is your kryptonite? What is going to be your biggest defier of that, of the skills you need to obtain and to successfully obtain the outcome of achieving your highest priority and your goal for that day. Okay, so whether it be a friend who calls you constantly or texts you constantly, whether it be constantly having to like snacking, or constantly having to get up to the washroom, or frequently checking your emails, checking your voicemails, all these bad habits that we have, the emails, the voicemails, the text messages, the talking on the phone, or catching up with buddies during the day, somebody stopping by your office just to say hello. These are, you got to identify your number one kryptonite and look at a few ways around minimizing that. And that brings me to my next point, and that is simplifying your day. Okay, you need to simplify one habit every day. I do this by organizing my agenda and my calendar and my 90-minute intervals and what those tasks are going to encompass in those 90 minutes the night before. Okay, and that simplifies my day the next day. It reduces decision fatigue. It reduces me having to decide what I'm going to do in those blocks of time. So anything you can do to reduce decision fatigue. If you're a mom and you're taking care of kids, you can lay out your clothes the night before for your kiddies for school. You can make lunches the night before. You can do that for yourself as well. If you're a single woman, you can lay out your makeup and all the products you're going to need the next morning, lay it out the night before. Whatever you can do to minimize having to make decisions in the morning to make your life simpler and easier every day. Pick a thing, pick any one thing, and try to find a way to make it simpler by 1% even. And usually it is to avoid decision fatigue. That is the biggest counterpart, the counteractive part to being efficient and effective in the morning. And the other thing is the first 10 minutes of the morning is the most important. So get yourself a coffee, get yourself a glass of water, sit down, look at your calendar, and write your priority down, write what your kryptonite's going to be, start brainstorming around that and problem solving and troubleshooting that. And do that all in the first 10 minutes of your day when you're sharpest. You are sharpest first thing in the morning. That is when you have the most clarity and the least amount of outside factors impacting you and creeping into your clarity and creeping into your cognitive space, okay? So that's what you want to do. The other thing is to protect your circle, okay? Everyone around you is either going to fuel your fire or they're going to suffocate your fire. So this works for the day-to-day and this works for the long run. So make sure you are surrounding yourself by environmental factors and people that either fuel your fire and instead of suffocating it. The ones that suffocate it, kiss them goodbye because they gotta go. You need to focus on your priorities and set your long-term goals, your midterm goals, and your short-term goals, and break those down into tasks and work on those and get those done. And you have no room for suffocators. You need people around you, and you need to be in an environment that fuels your fire. Simplify your environment. That's the other thing you can do when you're looking at simplifying your life. Simplify your environment. Your desk, have it very simple. Just things that inspire you, things that make you feel inspired and help you focus and help you feel comfortable and in your best headspace to work. Get rid of clutter, get rid of garbage, get rid of anything distracting. Have your laptop, have a few token items that maybe, or one or two that really inspire you and keep you motivated at your workspace, and that is it. Nothing to interfere with clarity of mind, with attention, with focus, which will all interfere with your productivity. And then I want you to think of your space as having one purpose, each space, okay? So, and this is a lifetime, this is in your life that will help you benefit and win at everything. Each space, your kitchen is for eating, your kitchen table, it's not for working. Your living room is for relaxing, okay? Don't bring your laptop to the couch, okay? Your bed, don't bring your laptop to bed. Your office is for working. Your bed is for sleeping or whatever you're doing in your bed that is meant to be done in your bed. Keep each space, give it its purpose, and allow it to have its purpose. And that is all. And that will simplify your life tremendously. And it will take so much stress and so much burden and weight out of your mind and off your shoulders that until you simplify one or two spaces, you probably don't even believe me. But once you simplify a space, even a closet, anything, make it focused, make it simplified, and give it its purpose. One thing a day, you will start to recognize, you'll be like, holy, this is so much easier. And it just clears your mind up. It frees your mind, it frees the space in your brain, and it allows you to attain more focus in the direction that you want to attribute more focus is the appropriate word, to attribute more focus and attention to where you want instead of distractors, okay? The other thing I want to talk to you about, and we're getting to the end here, is your tendency to become stuck. When you are stuck, that is like the ball isn't rolling. And to get that ball rolling, to get that ball moving that I discussed with you, that physics concept, that energy or matter, nothing begins moving without a force applied to it, and nothing will cease to move without a counter force, okay? But that initial force, that initial inertia, the force to get that ball moving, takes up 80% of your cognitive, emotional, and physical energy, okay? And it's 80%, but once that ball starts rolling, it starts to gain momentum. And that is the same as you focusing on a task. It will gain momentum. And as you gain momentum, you'll get to a plateau, to a point where it runs smoothly. And now all of a sudden it's only using up 20% of your cognitive, emotional, and physical energy to keep that ball rolling, because momentum has taken over for you. And you can get it as low as 10% and even less, because momentum will do the work for you. You will stay focused, you will be engaged in your task until something comes along and you have a context shift, a context break. like I discussed, like someone poking their head in your office and saying, hey, how was the weekend? Or, oh, let me tell you how my date went, okay? You don't have time for that, okay? So try to minimize that and stick to your 90-minute task batching. And in your 90-minute task batching, allow time 90 minutes. Give yourself time for socializing and communicating. We are people-oriented people. We need socialization. We need community. Allow time for that. Schedule time for that, because if you don't, you're gonna find it anyway. But it will creep into your focus time, and it will take out 23 minutes every single time it does that from your productivity, and you don't need that. So you are exhausted, if you feel stuck, you just need something to get the ball rolling. And that is usually something like I talked about with brain dumping. Just start writing, just start doing the work, just start working. But another way around that is physical activity. Go for a 5-minute walk around the office, get up and do some stretches, go get a glass of water, go and have a quick shower, go for a walk around the block. Just do something and give your brain that break, and then sit back down. And yep, it's going to take you 23 minutes to get back in the game again, to get yourself back to your task and to get yourself back into the level of focus that you had previously engaged in and you had previously achieved. But that's okay, because 23 minutes is a lot less time than if you're not able to get that ball rolling period and you waste the whole 90-minute task cycle, that whole 90-minute chunk, because you can't get yourself moving and you're stuck, okay? So we are walking, exercising, physical movement. I can't tell you enough. Movement creates energy, okay? And energy is a big contributor to us being able to allocate more energy into our focus and energy into the task at hand. When you're tired, when you're exhausted, when you can't do anymore, when you're having a hard day, you didn't sleep the night before, you need energy and to get unstuck. And we are electric creatures. We are made, every cell in our body, every molecule, every chromosome, every single thing is dependent on it. We are electric, okay? We are electric beings. And movement and physical movement just helps to facilitate this and increase this, and will provide you with energy and get those electrons and get your body moving and create the energy that you need to be able to be productive to the level that you want to be to accomplish the goals you want to achieve. And the last thing I want to tell you is that every major achievement and accomplishment in history, throughout history, was built on small bricks and small blocks. So your 90-minute tasking doesn't have to be large tasks. They don't have to be super important major things every day. They can be simple. They can be something that doesn't take up all your brain power, all your energy, all your mental energy. All you need is to be able to focus on it. And Rome wasn't built in a day. You've heard it a million times. And you need to be able to focus on small tasks. They are just as important as the big ones, because if you do every small task with absolute focus and attention, you will do it perfectly. You will do it seamlessly. And then when you put all those tasks together, your outcome, your product, your final product and your outcome will be seamless and perfect. And that's what you want. You don't want to do half-assed work. You don't want to be mediocre. You want to be the best at everything you do. You want to win at everything you do. And that's the goal of this video, is to help you do that. And finally, I will leave you with this. We are not meant to just pass time in this world. We are here to create. We are here to produce. We are here to achieve, to accomplish, and to achieve greatness and to accomplish goals and to create things, and not to give away our life in 23-minute intervals. So pay attention to this video. Pay attention to what you're paying attention to and what you're focusing on. And don't let your kryptonite get in the way. Don't let your life pass you by with 23-minute intervals. Really focus and knuckle down and learn how to master your ability to focus and take that 23 minutes that your brain takes to refocus and learn to shorten that time period. And the best way to do that is to simplify things, like I already discussed. And it will save you a lot of time. It'll save you a lot of losses and a lot of days where you feel unfulfilled and unaccomplished. And it will help you to be able to produce the way you want to, and to do it right and do it well and do it the best and do it better than everybody else, and do it the best you did it better than you did it the day before, right? 1% a day. And practice these things. Practice these things every day. Set tiny goals and set your priority, make your number, your daily priority, your big anchor of the day, something achievable. And be real with yourself when you're identifying what your kryptonites are, what your kryptonite factor is, and what's going to get you. Be real with yourself and come up with real solutions and ways to avoid that from taking you down, so you can win every day and do it the best. And that's all I have for you. And I hope you guys have a great day. If you enjoy my content, give me a subscription. I love every single one of them. Leave me a comment, share this video, and help me out with that, and that will help me in the algorithm and help me share this information with everybody, because I make all sorts of videos with this sort of content, and I feel it's really beneficial to the everyday average person like myself. And it's things that I've learned both academically and throughout life, and in managing all I've managed, which has sometimes felt like chaos, and I've had to simplify it to make it doable. And you can do it too, and everybody can do it. So that is it, and au revoir. I hope everybody has a lovely day.